Here are 5 of our favorite summer meals. Simple recipes that have amazing flavors for summertime.
Hello family and friends, I'm Susan and welcome to my home.
One of our favorite summer meals is hot dogs with chili and slaw. And I have a recipe for the best hot dog chili you'll ever make. First ingredients in the hot dog chili are 2 pounds of hamburger, half a cup of chopped onion, and half a cup of chopped bell pepper. I also have a secret mix of spices I put in it. It is called my hamburger skillet spice, and I do have the recipe listed below. That way you don't have to worry about writing it down. It's just 3 ingredients, but it tastes amazing in chili, and I usually keep it in a shaker. I also have some regular chili and some chipotle chili that I put in it because I like a little bit of spice in my hot dog chili. I went ahead and put the onion and the pepper in the pan and let it sweat down, and now I'm going to go ahead and add in the hamburger. Once I get all the hamburger in the pan, I go ahead and let it brown up for a few minutes. Now the hamburger is starting to get browned up along with the onion and the peppers, and if you notice all of that juices that is coming off the hamburger meat, we will be keeping that in for the hot dog chili. For other chilies you may or may not need it, but for this one you do. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this for an additional 15 minutes and let it finish cooking up before I start adding the other ingredients. I've let this cook for an additional 15 minutes, and now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of the hamburger seasoning. And I'm adding half a teaspoon of chili powder and 1 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder and 8 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm going to go ahead and stir all this up. It should become a nice red color. If not, you may need to add a little bit more ketchup. But then you have got the best hot dog chili I've ever ate, and I make it, and it is so good. And to go with that hot dog chili, you're going to need some amazing coleslaw. The Chick-fil-A coleslaw is my favorite coleslaw to make and tastes the best. And today I'm going to be using the tricolor deli coleslaw. You could cut it up if you want to, or you could leave it as is, and I think today I'm just using it as is. And next I'm going to be adding in the mayonnaise, the sugar, the mustard, and the vinegar. Stir all the ingredients together and then let it set in the fridge for about an hour, and you have got some awesome coleslaw. This homemade hot dog chili and the slaw is truly the best I have ever ate, and I love making it and everybody loves it. So if you want your family to enjoy an amazing tasting hot dog, then make this for them. They will truly love it. And another one of our favorite summer meals is low country boil. And it only takes a few ingredients, but I tell you what, low country boil is an easy way to make a southern favorite. With butter, potatoes, Posco kielbasa, onion, lemon, shrimp, and corn, and some spices, you have got an amazing meal that doesn't take long to cook, and you can make it to where it feeds a large number of people. You can get the regular crab bowl. I usually make my own with some Zatarain's and some Slap Your Mama. If you haven't tasted Slap Your Mama, it's spicy, but it is so good. And here's how I gauge how much I need. 4 to 6 shrimp per person, 1/2 to 1 piece of corn per person, 1/4 of a kielbasa, and 2 to 4 potatoes per person. And I also have a crab bowl that I make, 1 tablespoon of Zatarain's and 1 teaspoon of Slap Your Mama.
And I have everything cut up and ready to go in the water. I have put about 20 cups of water in this big pot, and I want it to start to boil, and then I will add the seasoning and then the seasoning, the butter, and then the potatoes, and we'll time them. It says to cook them about 15 minutes, and then add the Posca. I may only do 5 minutes on these because they're so friggin' small. I don't want them to just totally disappear. But let's wait for the water to boil, and then we'll start adding the ingredients. Water is boiling now, so let's get it going. I think I'm going to probably do 2 tablespoons of the Zatarain's. There we go. And a tablespoon of the Slap Your Mama, because you know I like it spicy. All right, now that should be good. The next thing I'm going to do, ooh, and I can smell that, my goodness. Let's put the butter in. That's half a stick. I'm going to put the onions in. I'm going to use my spatula to lower them down in there. And my lemon that I've cut in half. Okay, so we've got everything in the pot that needs to be in right now. I'm going to let that boil for 5 minutes, then I'm going to put the potatoes in. It's been boiling for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put the potatoes in. I'm not going to cut them up. Some people do. If you use bigger potatoes, I could see you needing to cut them up. I'm not. These things are tiny. These are little bitty potatoes. Like I said, I'm going to do them about 5 minutes. It says to do them 15. By the time I do the 15 on the Polska, we should be good, because these are tiny potatoes. Now I'm going to let that boil for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll add the Polska kielbasa. Woo, I tell you what, it's a boiling good. All right, 5 minutes has gone by for those little potatoes. Normally you'd do 15 for the bigger ones, but I'm not doing that much because I don't want them falling to pieces. Okay, now I'm going to add in all the Polska kielbasa. Stir it around a little bit. Stir the potatoes around on the bottom a little bit. And turn the timer on for 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and see how things are looking. It's been 15 minutes. Now it's time to add the corn. All right, get it all down in there. Stir it up real good. We're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes because that is frozen, well, a little defrosted. But I'm going to cook it for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and add the shrimp. And now it has been 5 minutes. And we're going to add the shrimp, which I have medium shrimp, easy peel. I do have the peel on them. It does, I don't know, it seems to make it taste better. Who knows? But I do like it. And then we're going to add the shrimp. And we're going to let that cook for 4 minutes. And then we're going to take everything out and pile it in a big plate. It's been 4 minutes, and it's time to start spooning the mixture out. I've got a big container that I am going to be spooning everything into. Here is the low country boil. Everything is done. You just have to pick through, get what you like, lots of shrimp, and eat. And it is so good. And we are going to do some Mexican chicken, but first we have to put it in the marinade. Overnight is best, at least 2 hours is good. And basically what I've done is defrosted, because this is frozen chicken wings. And I'm just going to put them in the bag. Now I'm going to put the marinade in it. What you're going to need is 2 of these orange Saison Goya spice packets, and then you're also going to need some Goya Adobo with the red top to go in it. I'm just going to shake the packet, open it up, and pour the seasoning in there. Make sure it's all there because this is good stuff right here. Now for the adobo, I usually do about 5 shakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to seal it up. And then I'm going to get all the spices mixed around together. And I'm going to go ahead and let this marinate in the refrigerator overnight to give it the best flavor. They did marinate in the refrigerator overnight. So now it's time for me to get them started on the oven top. First thing I'm going to do is slice up some of these tomatoes on the vine. I usually do about 3 tomatoes on the vine and 2 of the Vidalia onions. 3 tomatoes sliced up on the mandolin. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the pot. And now I'm going to do my onions. I've got my onions sliced up, and they're going in the pot. Now, I'm going to get those warming up and add some more of the adobo. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this cook and reduce on medium heat. I'm going to put the lid on and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Let it reduce, and then we'll come put the chicken back in, okay? All this is the chicken legs that I put in the marinade yesterday. And I am just going to put them around the dish, because I'm going to be turning them about halfway through. And I'm going to put all the juices that were in the bag right here into the pan also, because that has a lot of flavor in it. And now I'm going to turn this up to high for a minute, get it boiling really good, and then turn it back down to low. And I'm going to let it cook for 30 minutes, and I'm going to flip it halfway through. So that's looking good. It's boiling really good. Now, I'm going to turn it down on low, put the lid on it, and then I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to flip the chicken in 15 minutes. It's time to flip the chicken. As you can see, it's already been cooking quite a bit. And I'm just going to flip it over and let it cook on the other side for about 15 minutes. And if you notice, the side that was in that nice red orange stuff is turned very orange, which is fine. That's all that is good flavor. Now, put it back in for another 15 minutes. Look at that. Woo! It ain't fogging up the lens. That is what the chicken looks like right now. What I'm going to do is take the chicken out of this mixture. I'm just trying to leave all the onions and all the other stuff in there. I'm taking the chicken out because I'm about to put it in the air fryer to crisp up that skin. Okay, this recipe was given to me with you just eat it right here the way it is. I put it up a notch. I want to crisp up the skin, and then I'm going to turn this goodness in this pot right here into a sauce to put over top of the chicken wings when they come out of the air fryer, because that is too much good stuff right there not to use it somehow.
I quickly use the immersion blender to get all of that goodness blended up into a thick sauce. And look at these chicken wings. They are so crispy on the outside and so juicy on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and get them on a plate, and then I'll show you how I make my Mexican chicken wing sauce to go over top of them.
Look at that. That is some good looking chicken as it is. And you could eat it just like this, but I'm about to make it even better. And I'm reducing the sauce that I put on there. It's about reduced. I did wind up putting a little more adobo in it and one more of the Saison Goya packets just in the sauce, because this is what's going to make it taste amazing. Law. And here is what happens when it reduces down. It thickens up, and that is so good on the chicken wing. So I'm about to plate it up. Jalapeno poppers, chicken wings, and I made some yellow rice. Now, y'all know the secret about yellow rice. You put it in your pot, you put everything in, you stir it one time with your butter and your water, then you cover it. And you don't touch it for the whole time it's cooking. And that makes the perfect yellow rice. All right, let me plate it up. Let's get some jalapeno poppers on the plate, and let's get the chicken on the plate. A little bit of this reduction over the chicken. Now it's time to eat. Doesn't that look good? Try it, you'll love it. And I'm gonna get these ribs in the crock pot for tonight's supper. I've just got a pack of country style ribs, bone-in. Of course, they were on discount. You know that's how I buy them. And I'm just gonna put them in the crock pot and put them on low with some barbecue sauce, my favorite kind, sweet and spicy, and some water. And I'll show you how I do that. Now, I'll fit in the crock pot, and I'm basically just gonna use the last of this that I've had it setting on its top, and then pour that on top with the water. I want to make sure that the water goes up to the top of the ribs, but not over the ribs, because they will put off some water of their own. And I do want to put just a little bit more barbecue sauce in here. All right, now that will cook up. I've got it on low, and it's going to do that for about 8 hours while I go to work, and then we'll come home and it'll smell awesome, and we'll make us the rest of the ribs in the oven and get them all nice and ooey gooey with the barbecue sauce. And here are what the ribs look like straight out of the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and put them on a baking dish that's like a strainer, and I'm going to put some barbecue sauce on them and get them ready to go in the oven at 350. And here's what they look like before I put them in the oven, 350 for about 5 to 10 minutes, just to get the barbecue sauce nice and sticky on the ribs. And they're falling apart. They're so tender. These are country style ribs, not anything else. And they are so good. So let's go ahead and get these in the oven and get them cooking, so they'll be ready whenever Danny comes through the door. And here are the ribs. Barbecue sauce on them, some noodles, some green beans. But that is what's for supper tonight. And it is so good. And let me show you the recipe we're going to be doing today, which is Peruvian chicken quarters, pollo a la brasa. I'm going to be using a third cup of low sodium soy sauce, but I usually put aminos. 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 5 garlic cloves, which y'all know I use the minced in the thing. I'm going to do a teaspoon of cumin, paprika, and chili powder. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And of course, I've got my chicken quarters ready to marinate in a bag. It's better if you do this at night whenever you go to bed or in the morning, and then come home from work and put them on the grill, because the more they marinate, the better they are. I have done them where I've marinated them for an hour and they were good, but they just seem to be better the longer they marinate. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything in the bag, and then we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to put in is the liquid aminos, and that is 1/3 of a cup. Okay.
2 tablespoons of lime juice. And we're going to be putting in 5 cloves of garlic, or 5 teaspoons of minced garlic. 2 teaspoons of cumin. 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and half a teaspoon of oregano. Finally, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil to help mix everything together.
And I'm going to basically close the bag up, get all the air out of it, and then I'm going to shake it around. I want to make sure that all of the chicken quarters have got some of this on them. That way they can marinate really well in it. And you can tell when they do, because they look like they're covered in the mixture. And I do have 3 chicken quarters in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the fridge for tonight, and then we'll make them tomorrow for lunch. See you then. I've gotten the chicken quarters out of the bag in the fridge and put them in the Instapot, and I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Because a lot of times if you put chicken quarters directly on a grill, the middle doesn't get done and the outside gets burnt. So I'm going to put this on for about 20 minutes, and then I'll put them on the grill. That way I know they're done on the inside, and then I'll make them crispy on the outside on the grill. So come back in about 20 minutes and we'll see where they're at. The Instant Pot has finished its 20 minutes, and I'm basically going to try to lift these out without disturbing them too much, and then put them on the grill. Got all 3 of them situated in there. Got the timer on 10 minutes. I'll come back in about 5 minutes and check them out to make sure they aren't burning, but they should be doing pretty good. Here's the Peruvian chicken quarters. I actually let it sit in there for about 12 minutes all total at 500 degrees. Like I said, if you do it outside, you will need to check the chicken often. I've already cut it down the middle to make sure it's all the way done, and it is. And it shouldn't be dry because I basically cooked it at the absolute minimum amount of time as I could. Peruvian chicken quarters and some noodles. But Peruvian chicken quarters is the main thing, and that's what's for supper tonight. Don't forget to click that link below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos.
And let our family be a part of your family.